Come one, come all, and welcome to Tea Time with T-Cross.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Tea Time with T-Cross. I hope everyone out there is well, except Punxsutawney Phil. That rodent fuck gave us 6 more weeks of winter. I never understood the history on this whole Groundhog's Day and Punxsutawney Phil and whatever the... We listened to a groundhog about climate advice, but not scientists who study climate saying that, the world is doomed. So I don't even know what to tell you people anymore. So we got anal swabs. 2021, we're starting with anal swabs. That's what we're at now. Ooh. I didn't have the thing plugged in. I'm all for it. I like things in my butt. I think you all know that pretty easy by now. This camera looks crooked. Hold on. All right, that looks better now. So, speaking of the camera, I spent fucking my entire stimulus check that good old Mitchie boy gave me, and I've been having nothing but problems. Maybe I just don't know how to work it, but I didn't have this problem using the older, shittier camera. So I record video, obviously on the camera, and I record audio separately through the microphone into my laptop because it sounds better. Now, I'm sure there's some sort of way that I can plug the microphone into the camera. I have no idea. Maybe I got to figure that out. So you then record it separately so the audio sounds better. I got a 4K camera. The video looks better. And then you line up the audio with the audio from the camera, and then you just mute the audio in the camera so that it lines up. So it lines up at the beginning, and then about 25 to a half hour into the video, the audio unsyncs. So I have to chop it up, and then we're at a point where the audio is low so that you don't hear it skip, and then realign it. It's not a huge deal, but if I don't edit it and you watch the video, you can see that it's off by like half a second. And then if I were to raise the volume on the camera audio, it would be like an echo because they're not lined up. So I've been trying to figure this out for like 2 fucking weeks now, how to fix it. I reached out to my buddy Joe that I went to college with, who, was big into this production type shit. And he's like, that's fucking weird. I don't know why that's happening. Because it didn't happen on the last camera. So, I think I figured out how to do it. Because originally, from what I was seeing, was you record it in kilohertz. So the audio was recording on the laptop at 44,100 kilohertz, and the audio on the camera was recording at 48,000. So I needed to change the audio settings on the camera, the input audio settings. So I did that, and then I just set the camera up, and I set the microphone up next to a television while I was watching TV. And then I was trying different settings on the camera, like 4K, they have the HD, and then they have like full HD, which is 1080p, and trying just different audio settings and then just trying to figure it out, and nothing was working. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I changed the audio settings. What the fuck is going on here? So apparently, the only way to actually fix it is you line up the audio at the beginning. So here's why. Because apparently the camera, it films at 30 frames per second. But what 30 frames per second actually means is 29.97. So it's slightly less than what the audio is recording. So at long intervals of video, by the end of the video, it's not going to be lined up anymore. So I guess what you have to do is slightly slow down the audio like a fraction of a percent just to line up better, so it doesn't look or sound in slow motion, but it'll line up from the beginning to the end. So you line it up at the beginning, and then you go to the end, and you find a point where you can reline it up again, and then you just change the speed ever so slightly, and then it should work for the whole hour to hour and a half. So I'm going to try that today. Hopefully that works. I don't know if anybody's noticed any blips on the audio or video in the last couple weeks since I got this camera where I've been editing to fix the shit, which takes fucking forever. It's frustrating. Hopefully I will get it fixed out. So the anal swabs. Well, I'm seeing it all over the internet about these anal swabs. I haven't heard anything about it other than people on the internet saying, like, oh, we went from swabbing noses to swabbing buttholes. And I'm like, swab whatever the fuck you want, man. I just want to go to a sporting event. I want to go to college to concerts. Swab whatever part of me to get me back to normal. Please. And Joe Rogan came out and said that he will not take the vaccination because he doesn't feel like he needs it. So he probably doesn't. He's a very healthy guy. But here's where the vaccination comes into play. And this goes for a lot of people that are claiming they don't want to take it, they don't need it, they're young, they're healthy, blah, blah, blah. It's not about protecting yourself. It's about protecting other people. When you get the vaccination, it lowers your likelihood to be contagious and spread it to other people that may not be vaccinated or may not be able to fight the virus off with or without vaccination. It's not about protecting you, it's about protecting others. I've explained this before. If everybody gets vaccinated, vaccinations have generally, none of them have ever been 100%. It's never been portrayed that way. Never been said that they are 100%. So if everybody gets vaccinated, everybody has a 98% chance, 98% more likelihood of not catching it, not being. I cannot remember words. Contagious. So if everybody has it and everybody's at 98%, 98% more likely of not catching it, not being contagious, and more likely to beat it, as opposed to half the people are 98 and the other half are 50-50. So the more people that don't get vaccinated, the more likely that the entire population's ability to be contagious goes down. So the more people that get vaccinated, the more safe that the entire population will be. You might not be in danger of catching it or dying from it, but your family might, or the people that you love might. And even people that you don't love, you should want to protect as well. So that's the way I feel about it. So let's get right into some controversy that I've seen over the last number of weeks. Is Biden's treatment of the military, because he sent them to a garage or something. I don't know the exact story behind where they were before, why they got moved to a garage. I don't know the entirety of the story. I don't know the details. But that's how Biden treats. This is how Biden's America treats soldiers. Look at how Trump treated them. Trump sent them into 9 different countries. I'm not saying Biden won't do the same, because he's going to. I give it a year before we're in a 10th war. I give it a year before we go to war with either Iran or Venezuela. That's where we're going next. But if I had to choose between our soldiers sleeping on a garage floor or sleeping on a cot in the sand in the Middle East, killing little brown children, I'd rather them sleep at a garage in Washington, D.C. And I think all of them would vote the same. So look at it from that perspective. If Biden will bring home troops and keep them in garages here as opposed to on cots in the sand, in the desert, in the Middle East, killing brown children, that's the way I look at it. Now, obviously, they shouldn't be sleeping on the floor. They should be held to a higher standard. They should be treated much better. But if I had a choice between Middle East, Washington, D.C., I'd rather them be in Washington, D.C. So I wasn't all that upset about it. But everybody was all up in arms about it. But then if a report comes out that he's going to send 10,000 troops into Syria tomorrow, nobody would say a fucking word. How many of those troops are going to die in Syria as opposed to them dying on the floor in Washington, D.C.? A lot more of them are going to die in Syria than in Washington, D.C. That's the way I'm looking at it. And I'm so fucking done with war. And we voted in yet another warmonger. And Biden sucks. Fuck. Drinking my Kratom. Click the link in the bio. Go buy some Kratom. End your anxiety. So, I love messing with the telemarketers and the scammers that call and because I got a phone call today. Your credit card debt you're eligible to have it wipe free. And it's usually a recording, but today I got a call from an actual person. So I like wasting their time because the more time they spend on the phone with me, the less time they are scamming other people. And I honestly want to know what percentage these fucking people are successful, because I feel like these days most people just know fuck off or just know that it's not real. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe older people don't know. No idea. But I'd like to know the success rate of these people. So I got a phone call this afternoon, and it was a woman, and she said, hey, so you qualify to have your credit card debt wiped clean. Do you have a Visa or a MasterCard? And I was like, oh, Visa, which I don't. I honestly don't even have a credit card. I only use a debit card. Me with a credit card is so fucking dangerous, so I'm trying to hold off on getting one for as long as I can. So I said, oh, Visa. She was like, oh, really? Okay. Let me put you in touch with my manager who can give you more details on this, this offer. So then a fucking Indian guy gets on and he's like, hello, sir. So I hear that you're having trouble paying your credit card debts. I was like, yeah, man, I'm really struggling. I'm about to get kicked out of my house because of it. Like I can't pay my mortgage. I'm drowning over here, man. And he was like, oh yeah, that's a lot of people are struggling with that these days. So you do qualify for a grant that we're offering to wipe your credit card debt clean. Approximately how much credit card debt are you in? And I was like, 300,000. And he goes, you're telling me in your whole life you've accumulated $300,000 of credit card debt. Do you think I'm fucking stupid? You're a fucking asshole. So I didn't waste his time too much because we got like right into cursing at each other. And he was like, yeah, you're a fucking asshole. And I was like, I'm a fucking asshole? You're trying to steal money from people, you fucking jerk off. And he was like, oh, I want to fuck your mother. I want to fuck your mother. And I was like, yeah, fuck you, bitch. And he was like, oh, how about you suck my dick so I can put my balls in your mouth and see how my balls taste. And I was like, I bet your balls taste like dog shit, you dirty fucking slime bitch. I think I called him a slime ball, not a slime bitch. I was like, I bet your balls taste like dog shit, you fucking slime ball. And then he just stayed on the line, and I was like, oh, no rebuttal to that? So your balls do taste like dog shit, you fucking dirty fuck? And then I just hung up. That was it. But I like messing with those people. When I actually get a person, you very rarely get a person on the cell phone. My house phone, my fucking mother has had this. She will not get rid of the house phone. Will not disconnect it because it's like part of a plan. We get like phone, internet, cable, all in a plan. I'm like, just unplug the fucking thing. So the only people that call the house phone are the telemarketers, and then she yells at them, please take me off your fucking list. I'm like, Ma, just unplug the fucking thing. The only people that call it are these telemarketers, and all you do is get pissed off at these fucking people. So the house phone gets, real people all the time, but the cell phone, it's usually a recording. So I like when I get to talk to real fucking people. It was pretty cool. But another thing, speaking of talking on the phone, let's get into the customer service industry. My God, I really want to know. I'm gonna write a sketch about it, and I'm gonna film it one of these days about how the customer service training is. It's nobody's department ever. You get transferred here, they don't know. They transfer you somewhere else, they don't know. You never get to the bottom. You never get your problem solved. At least the first time you call. Eventually, I've called 5 times. What the fuck? So I've mentioned it the last number of podcasts, and I never actually got into the details of it with my insurance. So for 2020, I got marketplace insurance through the government. And because my income in 2019 was so low, I qualified for a lot of tax credits. So I got really good coverage, and I got most of it paid for by tax credits, which I hope I don't have to pay back. I still don't know. So I got really good coverage, and my tax credits, my coverage was like $350 a month. My tax credits gave me like $260, so I had to pay like $90 a month for really good coverage. So then, I started driving for Uber in 2020, made a bit more money. So then come 2021, now New Jersey doesn't handle insurance through the federal government. It's now through the state government. So I, went on, the website to apply and applied for the exact same coverage that I had the previous year. And because I made more money, the tax credits were less, obviously, which makes sense. But then I got a notice in the mail that my coverage was canceled. So I was like, what the fuck? So I call. And they're like, oh, that we made a mistake on our end. We accidentally canceled you, so we re-signed you up for the same coverage. I was like, okay, great. And then I got my insurance card in the mail. And last year's coverage, my deductible for the year was $500. And then, the real insurance coverage kicks in. This year, it's $2,500. So I called and I said, hey, what the fuck? I signed up for this coverage. I got a notice in the mail that I was canceled from my insurance. I called. You told me that it was something on your end, and then you re-signed me up for my original coverage, which had a deductible of $500. But now I get a credit card in the mail, or my insurance card in the mail, and my deductible is $2,500. Why is my deductible 5 times as much? And she was like, let me look into it. So I have here, it should be the $500. So you'll get a new insurance card in a week. I was like, okay. Get a new insurance card, and same exact one as the old one, $2,500. So I called back. I said, what is going on? Why do I not have the right coverage? And they said, that's not our fault. You have to call getcovered.nj. Like, you have to call the government. I was like, okay. So I called the government. And they said, oh, that's not our fault. You have to talk to the insurance company. I'm like, I just talked to the insurance company. They told me I have to go to you. And they're like, well, there's nothing I can do. Okay, great. So then I called back to the insurance company. And I said, hey, I told them the whole story. You guys canceled me. I had this really great coverage with a $500 deductible. And the out-of-pocket maximum was like $2,000. Like, the most I could pay out-of-pocket for the whole year was $2,000. So then, but my new coverage, the out-of-pocket maximum is like $7,000. So I call them like, why do I not have the original insurance that I signed up for, that I was given, and then you guys canceled? And they said, it says here that it was canceled, but we didn't do that. I'm like, I've called 3 times. Every time I've called, you guys said it was on your end. So what the fuck? So then the woman literally says, I can't help you. The best thing for you to do is to cancel the insurance that you have now and then just re-sign up for the original one. I'm like, okay, great, thanks. So I went through all this trouble. I talked to fucking a dozen people, and the final person I talked to said, I can't help you, do it yourself. Why does any company have a fucking customer service? It never works. So I do that. I go on the website, and I cancel my insurance coverage, and then I go to find a new plan. Mind you, this is after January. So, I mean, the open enrollment goes until the end of January, but, I've needed to go to the doctor for weeks now because I've got fucking brain problems. I got something going on with my head. So I cancel the insurance, and then I go to shop new plans. not only was my original plan no longer available, I guess there's only a certain number of people that can get certain number of plans. So not only was my original plan not there, the plan that I just canceled was also not there, and the only available plans were much, much worse than the one I just had. So I called back and I said, hey, this is what happened. Is there any way you can undo my cancellation for my insurance and just re-sign me up for what I was signed up for? She goes, yeah, no problem. She fixes it, and stupid me didn't think this, oh, you can do that kind of stuff. Can you re-sign me up for my original one? I just said, okay, great, thank you, whatever. So now I'm stuck with the fucking one plan that they gave me, because they canceled me from my original fucking plan and gave me some other bullshit plan, which the deductible is higher, or my monthly payment is higher than it originally was. My deductible is higher, my out-of-pocket maximum is higher, and my co-pays are higher for doctor visits. And they did it. I chose the same plan. I literally picked nothing. I just went in to my application and I just clicked through yes, like all the same answers I did last year, same plan, and they changed it without notifying me. They didn't call and say like, hey, this plan that you picked isn't available, so we picked a similar one. Just sent me a notice in the mail like, your insurance has been canceled. Check the website. I'm like, what the fuck? What a fucking disaster. So I have the shitty plan. And mind you, I literally just got this figured out like a week ago, just before open enrollment ends. And now I owe 2 months because I wasn't officially signed up through January. So my payment didn't go through on January 1st. So now I have to pay for 2 months, even though most of January I wasn't covered because they canceled my fucking plan and wouldn't figure out the rest of it. How fucking frustrating is that shit? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I noticed that editing one of my last episodes that I was stirring my kratom right in front of the microphone and it was super loud, so I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try and be better. Other customer service, DraftKings. So DraftKings sent out some sort of bet or some sort of like sign-up bet. I don't even remember how I saw it, but it was like, you bet $1 and Conor McGregor wins by first round knockout against Dustin Poirier. I mean, we all know that that's not what happened, but at the time I was like, that's definitely a possibility. You bet $1, max bets, you can't bet more. You bet $1, you win $257. I was like, fuck yeah. So I go to sign up, and I assume for tax purposes, you have to give them your insurance, or not your insurance. I got insurance on the brain. Got to give them your social security number. So I do that, and they're like, we can't verify that this is you. I'm like, what the fuck? So they're like, please provide further documentation. And the further documentation, one of the options, I mean, there was like passport, birth certificate, driver's license. Driver's license, I have it, I carry it everywhere. So I send them a picture of my driver's license, and they were like, okay, we'll get back to you, once this is reviewed. So then I sent them an email, like 4 days later. Never heard back from them. I sent them an email. I'm like, hey, I sent you an email. Like, I sent you my documentation like 4 days ago. What's going on here? So then they responded like, oh, we never received it. So then I sent another one. And then I waited a day. And then I sent another one. I sent my driver's license in 8 times. 8. So then I was sending them... so then I sent another email. I'm like, what is the holdup here? Like, why can I not sign up for this? And I was making sure to tell them the only reason I'm signing up is for this Conor McGregor. And then the guy said, I'm so sorry. I just went into your account and I manually activated it and I put in, $5. I think it was $5. I think I gave you $5 free to play with. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. And then I go into my account to log in and it says again, please upload documents. You're not confirmed. So I go back and I email the guy. I'm like, hey, I'm not confirmed. Like I said, I screenshot. I said, like, when I try to log in, this is what I get. And then the guy, responds again. All right. I don't know why that is, but, I did manually accept your account. You're free to play. You have money in your account. You're good to go. Never heard back. That was the last time I heard from him. And that was like a week and a half before the Conor McGregor fight started. And I made sure in all my emails, the only reason I'm signing up for this is so that I can place the bet on Conor McGregor. Every day I'm sending them emails. If Conor McGregor wins by first round knockout, that's the only reason I want to sign up. They never got back to me. I blew up their Instagram accounts. At the time, I was blocked on Facebook, so I couldn't blow up their Facebook accounts. And the whole day of the fight, every hour, I was sending them an email. We're an hour closer to the pay-per-view. Another hour closer to the pay-per-view. Still never heard back from them. And you know what? I haven't even tried to sign in. So I think when I first tried to sign up, it was like January 9th was when I first tried to sign up because I saw the email. So DraftKings Sportsbook. So we're almost at a month now, and I'm not kidding. I must have sent these people 80 emails. And I'm not exact. It must have been close to 80. Yep, still not able to log in. So when I put my password in, this is what comes up. Upload documents. Yep, that's what comes up. Upload documents. And I'll tell you what, if Conor McGregor would have won by first round knockout, I would have been relentless about my $257. Speaking of money, Uber, my wonderful job. So lately, ever since the new year started, they've been having like these big promotions. You do a certain number of rides, and this time period will give you this much extra money. Like today, for instance, they had a promotion. You do 20 rides between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. and we'll give you $100 extra. And the cool thing about the promotions is there's like stacks to it. So you don't have to do all 20. So if you do your first 2, you get 7. Then you do another 3, that's 5 total. We'll give you another 8. And then you do another 3, then we'll give you 9. And it's like, there's tiers to it. So even if you don't get the full 20, you do like 17. There's still levels to it, so you got 80 extra for the day. So there was one, I got an email, or I'm signed up to get text messages from Uber to let me know when these promotions are. Because I send emails also, but I'm not always checking my email. So I have it set up so that I get text messages, so I never miss when they're happening. So I got a text message one Monday that said, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., if you complete 12 rides, we'll give you $30 extra. And then they'll give you a link that you can click that will take you to the app and will show you the details of the promotion, like the different tiers of the promotion and whatnot. So I was like, 5 hours, 12 rides, that's about a little more than 2 rides an hour. That's a pretty slow pace. Fuck yeah, I'm in. So I do 12 rides. No, so let me back up. So I click the link and it takes me to the app and there was nothing showing. So I responded to the text message. I'm like, are you sure this is real? Because I clicked on the link and there's nothing showing in the app. And then I got a text back saying, we're aware that it's not showing in the app. We're having a technical difficulty, but you will be paid for this promotion. I was like, all right, cool. So I do the 12 rides. And then, I understand this technical problem. Sometimes these things take a while. So I wait a couple days. And then I send them a message to the help desk like, hey, I never got, it's now Wednesday. I haven't gotten paid for this. So the help desk in the app, it's all automated responses. You almost never get a response from an actual person. So they say, can you provide more details on your issue? So I send them a screenshot of the text message I received. And then they're like, okay, we'll look into it. Great, thanks. Another day goes by, haven't gotten paid yet. Now, mind you, I get paid on Tuesdays. So the Uber week is Monday to Sunday. Sunday night, the money leaves your Uber account. Monday starts a new week. My bank processes it, and I get it on Tuesday. Unless there's a, excuse me. Unless there's like a holiday over the weekend or something. And then if the banks are closed on Monday, I won't get it till Wednesday. Whatever. So it's now Thursday. Haven't gotten my $30 yet. So I send them another message. Why haven't I gotten paid yet? Another day goes by. I sent them an email. I sent them a message on Facebook. And they said, we're working on it. And I'm like, how long does it take to work on this? Like, I sent you the screenshot. Like, you see that I got the message. You're looking at my account that I did 12 rides. You pay me $30 fucking. Like, what's the holdup here? So then Friday comes and I call. And calling is just as frustrating because, I'm very sorry. We're working on it. Just stay patient. Like, we appreciate your patience. I'm like, it's been 5 days and I haven't gotten paid yet. If your boss tells you to do something and he'll give you $30 extra and then you do that thing and he doesn't pay you, that's a problem. That pisses me off. I get it. A couple days go by, technical problems, no issue. I'll stay patient. 5 days, now we got an issue. Now I'm going to harass you. Saturday comes. I still have not gotten paid. From the time I woke up to the time I went to bed, I sent them a screenshot every hour on the hour. I set an alarm on my phone. Every hour on the hour, I sent them a screenshot of the text message I received. And I also typed out a breakdown of all 12 rides that I did. Where I started, where I finished, how much I got paid, how much the tip was. All 12 rides. I pictured that, sent it. Every 3 or 4 times that I would send it and they wouldn't answer me, because I was getting no responses to these fucking pictures, I would then start a new thread of like, oh, you didn't answer the other one, let me start a new one. So by the end of the day, I had like 7 different threads going and I'm sending pictures to all of them. Sunday comes. Still have not gotten paid. So I call again. And I say, hey, tonight's the last day of the week. It's been 6 days. You have not paid me my $30 yet. And by the end of today, the money comes out of the account and then a new week starts. So if I get shorted $30 on this week because you didn't pay me, I'm going to be fucking pissed. So then, the woman that I spoke to was like, you know what, I see that you've been, sending us a message all week. I will fast track you to the front of the line. You'll be the first person that issue that gets solved today. I was like, okay, great. Thank you. So the problem with Uber when looking at your trip order or your trip history is that if you do, I don't know what they would call it, but they'll send you two orders at the same time from 2 places that are relatively close to each other or the same place. Like you'll get 2 deliveries to go to Chipotle, you pick up 2 orders, you deliver it relatively close to each other. That only shows up as one link. Like you click on it and then there'll be 2 different order things instead of two separate, it's hard to explain without showing you, but the double order will show up like at 5:08 you got 2, like you did this trip, and as a whole, for the whole trip, you got paid $20. But then if you go into the details, you'll see that you did 2 trips. So you really have to look into the details. So for whatever reason that day, I got a lot of double trips. So if you look through the order, there's only 7 trips there, but a bunch of them were doubles, which for the promotion counts as 2 separate trips because you did 2 different deliveries. So by the end of Sunday, I got an email that said, hey, we saw that you did 7 trips, so we put $11 into your account. No. I got even worse. Nonstop, every 10 minutes on Monday. Because the week ended, Monday comes, now I'm even more pissed. The week ended, it's been 7 days. Not only did you not solve my problem, you half solved it and thought it was good enough. Nope. Monday comes. I called. And I had the woman on the phone for over an hour. When I called her, I said, I'm not hanging up the phone until this gets solved. And what do you know? Well, let me backtrack. So one of the first people I called that said, there's really nothing I can do because you need to send in the screenshots. I go, I've sent in the screenshots. And I'm not exaggerating, 100 times I've sent the screenshot in. I don't understand what's so fucking difficult here. So when I talked to the person on Monday, like a week later, the woman was like, "Hey, can you go to your app right now?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." Go to the app. She starts a new thread. So while I'm on the phone with her, I can send her pictures. That sounded creepy. I can send her screenshots. I can send her the screenshots that I've sent in 100 times throughout the week. So she goes, "Huh, our system still isn't showing that there was a promotion that day. But you clearly got a text message." And then I sent her the screenshot of the breakdown. I said, a lot of the trips that I did that day were double trips. So, I got paid $11 for 7 trips, but like 5 of those were doubles. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus the other 2 singles would equal 7. That's 12 trips. So I sent her the breakdown. And she was like, and she's reading it, and she was like, "Okay, yeah, let me look into your trip and just make sure that that's accurate." So she looks through it, and she was like, "You know what? Yeah, the issue hasn't been solved, but it's clear that you completed the 12 trips." So she's like, "Here's what I'm gonna do, and I can probably get in trouble for this, but I understand why this is frustrating. It's been a whole week. You haven't gotten paid, and nobody has been able to help you." She goes, "I'm gonna put the extra $19 in your account now, and then if the they use the term investigation like they're the fucking FBI. If once the investigation is done, we see that, something was wrong, we'll just take the money back." I go, "Great." And then and I didn't say this to her, but I'm like, "That's great. Thank you." So I got some fucking help after a week of contacting every day, every hour. But I'm thinking, if I get this $19 taken away from me after all this trouble, I'm going to be pissed. Mind you, I Googled the CEO's email, and I emailed the CEO. I was like, "There's a fucking problem here. You owe me $30, sir." Jesus Christ. So speaking of Uber, I had 2 great stories from this last week. So I get this delivery to deliver to an apartment complex, and I hate apartment complexes because I understand how difficult it is to explain to somebody that doesn't live there where they're going, where your door is. But I appreciate the people that try. I'm across from the laundry room. I'm the 3rd building on the right. I appreciate that. This woman had none of that. And this apartment complex was the most out of control thing I've ever witnessed. So there was the GPS took me to the building right on the main road. So I park on the main road, hazards on, and the way these buildings were, so all the different buildings were all U-shaped. So there was one door here, or one strip here, connected here, and then another one that way. And they were all different buildings. So like this strip here was 14, this one was 15, and the other long way was 16. And I needed to find building 13. So I see 16, I see 15, I see 14, and I go, "Oh, it must be the next building over." I go the next building over, 9. 16, 15, 14, 9, 8, 7. Like, that's weird. So I go to the other so 14, 15, 16, back this way, and what is right here next to 16? 23. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go the building behind, because it's like, there's the buildings on the road, and then there's the next row in, and then there's buildings there, and then the 3rd row back. So I go the next building in, 5. I'm like, what the fuck? So then I get a message from the woman. Say, "Hey, I'm in building 13, apartment, whatever letter it was." I go, "Yeah, I can't find building 13. She read the message and then never sent another one. Never called me to help explain where she was. So 16, 15, 14 was right on the main road. You know where 13, 12, 11 was? The 4th row all the way in the back by the woods. Explain that. So that was the very end of the parking lot. Like, the parking lot all had rows, and then for whatever reason, the last row didn't connect to all the others. So, you get to the end of the parking lot where the dumpsters are, there's no connecting road that way. So now I'm I fucking finally find building 13 all the way in the back. Try to find the letter to her apartment. As soon as I get out of my car, I hear a woman screaming out the top of her lungs, howling. Oh my God, it hurts so bad. Like she's screaming. And then I see a guy on the phone, and he says, yeah, my dog bit somebody, and he's calm as a daisy. I don't even know if that's a phrase. Calm as a cucumber. That's a phrase, I think. So he's on the phone, very calm. My dog bit somebody. She's in a lot of pain. Can you send an ambulance or whatever? I see a dog tied to the handicap post for the handicap parking, and he's just sitting there, not freaking out, not going crazy. I walk past him, and he just like stands up and his ears perk up, and like it looked like he had a smile on his face. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the owner says like, hey buddy, sit down. You're in enough trouble already. And then the dog just sat back down. I'm like, what? This is the fucking craziest thing. And everybody's out, on their balconies looking at this fucking woman screaming at the top of her lungs. So I eventually find this woman's apartment. It must have been 10 minutes after she sent me the message, like, you're looking for building 13. I'm like, where's that? And then she didn't answer me. So I find the building. And mind you, when I first pulled into the apartment complex, I had called a restaurant to pick up food. It was like 8:30 when I pulled in. The restaurant was right down the street. They said, okay, just so you know, we close at 9. No problem. So I eventually find, the apartment. I park 8:40. Or 8:38, I guess, technically. So I park, walk, finally find the fucking apartment, drop it off, get back to my car, and what do you know? There's an ambulance there, parked right in the middle of the driving way. So I can't get out. And I don't want to be a dick and be like, hey, is there any way you can move? I understand that you're doing your medical service to this woman, but like I got to go pick up a sandwich. Can you move out of the way for me? So I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there and I'm sitting there. 8:50. They're still parked there. So I get out and I said, hey, really not trying to be a dick here. I ordered food to pick up. The restaurant closes at 9. How much longer are you guys going to be? I can't get out here. And I already paid for the food. And they're like, yeah, we're moving. So while I was walking in throughout the complex, I'm looking around for blood. No blood. So the dog didn't break any skin. What I guarantee happened, this dog got all excited. This woman went to go pet it, and it was a puppy, I guess. Like, it was a bigger dog, but, a lot of the bigger breeds get big within a few months. So I could probably still a puppy, nibbled at her. She didn't like it. Fucking ambulance. Because she got bit by a dog that didn't break the skin. And I really hope that dog didn't get put down, because it was pretty clearly a well-behaved dog. Dog sat up. The owner said, hey, sit down, you're in trouble. And then he just sat right down. No problem, no barking, no heavy breathing, no growling. Really fucking strange. Really strange. And so that was that story. Another story. I'm going to see if I can find the screenshots here. I post all my shenanigans from Uber on my Instagram account. So if you don't follow me at tcrosstheboss. So I hope... Oh, found this one just real quick. I got an order from a woman, and the woman... Pick up from McDonald's, by the way. The woman says to me, I'm sorry I couldn't tip you. It's the last couple of dollars I have before I pay rent. But thank you so much for picking up my food. And that was like a Friday. It was Thursday, and then I guess rent was due. That was January 28th. Rent's due the 1st, so she's got a few days. My last few dollars till rent. Let me order McDonald's for delivery. So I left it at the end of her driveway. You go pick it up yourself. But I legitimately dealt with arguably the dumbest customer I've ever dealt with in the history of Uber. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you realize that's saying a lot. So I pick up from Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm delivering it, I don't know, a mile away. So I'm on my way to Dunkin' Donuts, and I get a message from the I don't want to say the name, but it was, I'll say the name, Twaysie, Twaysie. You tell me if that's a man or a woman, or a trans, or what kind of person that is. So I get the message at 2:14, and I'm on my way to Dunkin' Donuts. And they say, hey, I need to catch the bus in 10 minutes. Is there any way you can be here faster? And I said, there are these things called traffic lights that I can't control. I'm going as fast as I can. So 2:14, she sends that. And then she says, I'm just hoping to get my order before 2:26. I said, not exactly sure what you want me to do here. There are traffic lights and other cars and speed limits. Maybe order it more in advance next time. And she goes, all right, thank you. I'll do that. No. Did I not screenshot one of them? Yeah, so I missed a message. So she said, like, yeah, I'll do that next time. So then I get there, and I say, I'm by the buses. And she goes, all right, thank you. I'll be by where the last bus is at, the small one. So I said, I'm right in front of the small one. And she goes, thank you so much. I'll be right out. So this woman texted me to complain that I'm taking too long and I need to get there faster. So I get there as fast as humanly possible without getting a reckless driving ticket to give this woman her fucking iced coffee with cream, no sugar, no milk, cream. I don't know if that's what it was, but it was literally one coffee. So I get there fast, and she's not outside. I now have to wait for her. Stupid me should have said, hey, is there any way you can get here faster? That's what I should have said. So I'm there. It was less than 5 minutes from her first message till I got there, because I got to Dunkin' Donuts and I took it a mile down the street. So I waited there 5 minutes. So now it's after 2:20. And I said, should I leave it on the curb or something? I have other deliveries to make. She read the message and did not answer. I waited another minute and I said, and now this time another bus pulled up. I'm parked in a bus parking spot in between two buses. Another bus pulls up. So I have to leave. I mean, it's the parking lot. The parking lot was ginormous. I could have just parked in a regular parking spot. But fuck this lady. Can you hurry up? And then I get there and now you make me wait? Fuck you. So I said I couldn't wait any longer. I left it on the curb or on the walkway. She goes, hold on, I'm coming right out. Give me a minute. And I said, I can't. Another bus came and I had to move. It's on the walkway. She goes, you can't do that. I'll get in trouble. Please, I'm coming out now. And then I said, too late. This fucking asshole had the balls to ask me to get there faster. I don't even know how you expect someone to do that. Like, if the food isn't ready, hey, can you be faster? All right, let me just wait faster for the food. Like, there's speed limits, there's other cars, there's traffic lights. What the fuck do you want me to do to get there faster? I mean, it was a mile away. Why would you order food for delivery when you only have 10 minutes? And I mean, it's a fucking coffee. Jesus, holy shit. I was shocked. And I was screenshotting these and putting them on my Instagram. The amount of messages and responses I was getting from people, I'd never gotten that much of a response from my Uber shenanigans. Shocking, really shocking. But today, another one that I got, This happens all the time. I just don't document this as much. So when it snows, people, I mean, obviously order food more because they don't want to leave because it's snowy and the roads suck. They weren't too bad today, but they weren't ideal. These fucking people that order food don't shovel a walkway from the street to their front door. And normally it's not that big a deal, but there was a foot of snow on the ground today. And these fucking assholes are ordering food and not shoveling a walkway. I say these fucking assholes happened one time today. But normally what I would do is I would walk halfway into their yard and I would leave their food in the middle of the yard. I've done that before. But this guy tipped really well. So I was kind of conflicted. But what I did do is because he had a glass door that opened outwards, I put his food, which had drinks in it, up against the glass door so that when he opens the door, his drinks fall over. That's another great one. So, I mean, come on. So another thing that happens, not just with Uber, but driving. I don't know if this happens to everybody else, but if I'm driving down a street and I'm going to make a left onto like a side street, not on a major road where there's a light. If I'm driving down a road and I'm making a left onto a side street, and a person that's coming out of that side street is making a left onto the main street, which is the way I was going. In the middle of my left turn, this happens, no lie, all the time. And I always use my fucking blinker. When people don't use their blinker, I will honk my horn as long as I can. When I'm in the middle of my turn, they'll start coming out. And I have to swerve to avoid being hit because these people are coming out of the exit before I finish my turn. It literally happens like once a day where I'm making a left and somebody will come out of the way. The other day, I instead of speeding up, I slammed on my brakes. And then this woman slammed on her brakes. And I rolled my window down. And so now I'm blocking her. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, "What am I doing? What the fuck are you doing?" She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You tried to pull out before I even started turning." She's like, "Well, why don't you use your blinker?" I'm like, "Why don't you use your fucking eyeballs? My blinker was on. My blinker's always on. Look now, it's on. It's always on." And she was like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry." Like, these fucking... The fucking driving test is way too goddamn easy. These things are death machines. They give any fucking idiot the ability to drive a big giant metal death machine. Unreal. So I didn't get to talking about Donald Trump's ban from Twitter, but the battery on the camera is about to die, so I'm going to change that real quick. Ugh. So Donald Trump got banned on Twitter, and I have two different thought processes on it. Ah, fuck. Fucker. Alright, it's recording. Sorry about that. I figured out a way to get my camera to record consistently. I just got to buy some stuff that's expensive. So give me a couple weeks. Bear with me. So anyway, Donald Trump getting banned from Twitter. It sets a dangerous precedent. It gives big tech too much power. And everyone's like, "Oh, well, they're a private company. They can do whatever they want." Well, then let's open up businesses. If you can't tell Twitter and Instagram that they have to abide by the rules of the Constitution because they are a private business, then every business has to be able to open up. Because they're a private business. They can do whatever the fuck they want. If they want to open their business, fuck off. And the problem with that is the whole reason for freedom of speech is not to protect popular speech. It's to protect unpopular speech. And the way you combat unpopular speech is not with canceling out their speech. It's with allowing more speech and more conversations and, I don't want to say arguments, but discussions about said topic that allowed someone to be banned. Camera tilted too far down. Oh, fuck. Is that better? All right, yeah, there we go. So, and now everybody that's applauding it, you're giving them the power to do that to whoever they want. It allows big tech companies, people that were not voted into power, it gives them the power to control the narrative. And I fucking hate that word. I can't believe I just used that word. It allows the big tech companies and the billionaires to control information entirely. Because not only did they ban Trump from Twitter, they banned the app Parler. So now you can't go down, or at least from what I've told. I've tried to download it, but you can't go download Parler, which is like the platform for free speech. You can't go then download it. So you can only, now it's not only giving them power, it's setting a monopoly so they entirely control the flow of information. A few people, that's dangerous. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I also think Trump getting banned from Twitter because he was going to tweet about the aliens. Because according to the former space chief of Israel said that the aliens are real, they've made contact, there is a galactic federation, and Donald Trump knows about it. And he's a whiny little bitch that lost the election, fair and square, and he's going to release the secrets. So I think that had something to do with it as well as him starting a riot at the Capitol building. GameStop. It's really neat that this is going to be really hypocritical, but it's really neat that everybody knows everything about everything because they have the internet. And I'm guilty of it. Absolutely I am. But as I get older, I am able to acknowledge my faults, my hypocrisies, my biases. It's just so crazy how people will read a couple articles or read a couple headlines, watch a couple YouTube videos or Instagram Live or IGTV videos, and just think that they're a fucking expert on what's going on. I'm shocked at how many people are involved in the stock market now. I know a couple people that have been involved in it for a while because they talk about it. That doesn't necessarily make them an expert, but it's something that they're involved in. Now all of a sudden, my whole Instagram feed is don't sell, fuck these billionaires. I'm totally on board with fuck the billionaires. I don't know dick about the stock market. I don't know how they manipulate it. I don't know what Reddit did. But Reddit fucking tried to manipulate the market the way the hedge fund guys do, which caused the hedge fund guys to lose billions of dollars. So then they shut down the free market trade. It's a foreign language to me. I don't get it. I don't care to get it. But the next time there's a scheme online to get a bunch of people rich, can you let me in on it before it happens? And make sure I listen. Steve DeBlatt. That motherfucker told me about Bitcoin before Bitcoin was huge. Like, I distinctly remember when he told me about it, where we were, and I said, that's fucking stupid. And look where we are now. But the same thing happened with cryptocurrency. There's somebody created like a fake coin or a joke coin called Dogecoin, like that fucking meme with that dog. And that was blowing up, and then they restricted trade on that. I still, to this day, it's been a week, I've been trying to buy Dogecoin. I can't do it. They won't let me buy it. I thought about getting into Robinhood and stocks several months ago, but I remembered reading a story where some kid that didn't understand trading and buying and didn't understand the stock market got involved in Robinhood, found himself $80,000 in debt within a couple weeks, and then he killed himself. So I was like, I don't understand the stock market. I have a tendency to have suicidal thoughts. This is probably not a good idea to join Robinhood, so I didn't do it. But speaking of Robinhood, let's get into sports. because apparently the Mets' new owner, Steve Cohen, is involved in Robinhood or in the hedge funds, and that's how he got rich, and no idea. But he was involved in the halting or the shutdown of the free trade, and now the Met fans are pissed. Being a Met fan is so fucking difficult. Being a New York sports fan, or at least the New York sports teams that I'm a fan of, is so difficult. The Mets. We get this new owner. We're like, fuck yeah, we're having a great offseason. We sign Carrasco. We just signed another right-handed pitcher. His name is escaping me. We signed a shortstop. Having a great fucking offseason, minus Noah Syndergaard being out for the year. Great fucking offseason. Bada bing, bada boom. Our new GM or whatever, the Jared Porter. This fucking guy sends dick pics to reporters. And apparently the story has been known by this news source for 4 years. But the woman didn't want her reputation being ruined. But now she's in a different industry where she doesn't give a fuck. So she's like, yeah, go ahead, release it, whatever. Jared Porter, this sick fucking dopey fuck. This doughy fucking disgusting fat pig. I'm one to talk. This fat fucking pig gets involved with a reporter that he was really interested in. She wasn't. He sent 62 texts/pictures in a row unanswered. And what does this guy's brain do? I know how to get her. Dick pic. That's the way to get her. 62 unanswered messages? Dick pic. Got him. Nope. Now you're fucked. Now you are fucked. Speaking of dick pic, Mickey Callaway, former Mets manager, he's also sending dick pics to reporters. He's also married. He claims it was all consensual and his wife is aware of it. What kind of freaky shit are these people into? I mean, my God. Jesus Christ. So, I don't know what's going to go on with... I mean, that guy Jared Porter was gone. I don't know what's going to happen with Steve Cohen. If he robbed a bunch of people, that sucks. It's definitely illegal. And if he was involved, I don't know the ins and outs. Like I said, I don't know the stock market. I don't know the shit. They should all go to prison. But I like Steve Cohen. I think he's made a bunch of good moves in the offseason. I think we're headed in the right direction, player-wise. So we've had two different off seasons. We had an off season with the players, which is going well, and then an off season with the management and the staff, and it's not going well. So yeah, let's go Mets. Another sports team that I am a fan of is the Jets. That's been fucking miserable, absolutely, unequivocally miserable my entire life, and most of my father's life too. They've won one Super Bowl. They had a couple successful seasons here and there, but they suck. They're fucking terrible. And and the Rangers, who have been the most successful sporting team that I've been a fan of in my life. And by successful, I mean like they're the most fun to watch. I mean, hockey is my favorite of the four major sports. But the Rangers generally make the playoffs almost every year. This year we have the youngest team, the youngest average age in the NHL, by far. So we've got a really young team, and I was really excited about our number one draft pick, Alexis Lafreniere. I bet on FanDuel Sportsbook, because I signed up for FanDuel, no fucking problem. DraftKings can fucking jerk off on my face. FanDuel, no problem. In and out, no problem. Betting on FanDuel. I was betting every game that Lafreniere was going to score. I'm like, I watched this kid's highlights. This kid's a fucking beast. He's like 18 or 19 years old. I love him. And he's gonna be fucking phenomenal. So far, he's a dud. He's playing scared. He's a big fucking guy. He's not being physical. He's passing too much. He's missing opportunities to score because he's passing. Now, I don't know if that's his fault or if that's... everybody on the fucking team, the goddamn team, does that. So I don't know if that's just the style of play that Quinn wants, but I fucking hate it. I bet on him to score on FanDuel Sportsbook the first 5 games. He did not score any of those 5 games. Or maybe it was 6 and then he scored in the 7th. Whatever. I bet the first 5 or 6 games he was going to score. First game I didn't bet. What does he do? Scores a fucking goal. Game winner in overtime. I'm happy we won, but fuck. Another young kid was our was our not first overall draft pick, but our first draft pick. I think it was last year. Capo Caco is getting no fucking playing time. The kid's phenomenal. He's an excellent athlete, excellent hockey player, getting no playing time. We're getting no production from our senior players. Mika Zibanejad getting nothing. Chris Kreider, we're getting barely anything. Panarin's playing great. This other young kid we got, young black kid in the NHL, Keandre Miller, just turned 21 in December. I fucking love this kid. He's a big kid. He's physical. He's not afraid. Not afraid to fucking get in anyone's face. The game last night, Monday night, the goalie found himself way out of net. And we're up by 1. This fucking kid put his body in front of the net with, just the regular, saved the fucking goal. Got it, just fucking slid across the ice, saved the goal. He's a puck handler, he's big, he's black, happy Black History Month, wearing a black legend on my shirt. Wash your hands, fuckers, wear your mask. Big Dick Benny over here. But we suck. We're losing every game by 1 goal. We can't seem to hold a lead. We'll score a goal, we'll go up, and then less than 2 minutes later, game's tied. Every fucking game. I think we've lost every game so far this season by 1, and we're in last place. So that's pretty neat. What else I got here for sports? Oh, Major League Baseball. Not a single player voted into the Hall of Fame this year, and we're getting real into the depths of the steroid era. I'm not one for not allowing someone in the Hall of Fame because they use steroids. Baseball's fucking hard. Now, if you have just barely enough to be a Hall of Fame player, but you either failed the test or were accused, or it's likely that you took them, probably not. But if you're way above the pack, like Barry fucking Bonds, that guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Alex Rodriguez, that guy should be in the fucking Hall of Fame. And I talked a bunch of shit about him. Kurt Schilling, real shitty human being. He collects Nazi memorabilia. He's a real cocksucker. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the fucking Baseball Hall of Fame. And from what I understand, the reason he's not is because he's a fucking dickhead. Now, the Hall of Fame is not the Hall of great human beings. I mean, Ty Cobb was a full-on white supremacist racist. But he's a fucking great baseball player. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Kurt Schilling should be in the fucking Hall of Fame, no questions asked. Now, who else was on the... So I think the way the Hall of Fame voting works is that you're on the ballot for 10 years, and then if you don't make it in, you're off for 5, and then you're re-eligible again. So this was Kurt Schilling's 9th year eligible. And he didn't get in, again, which is fucking unbelievable. But he was crying about it, saying, I remove myself from the ballot. But I mean, there's at least 7 people on the ballot this year that should have been in. Just from my memory, just because we're getting into the stage where, when I was really into baseball as a late kid, early teenage years, those guys are now being eligible. So MLB Hall of Fame. So let's see. So Kurt Schilling should be in. Barry Bonds should be in. Roger Clemens should be in. Omar Vizquel should be in. Todd Helton should be in. Sammy Sosa should be in. Andy Pettitte should be in. That's 7. Now, that's just off the top of my head. That's just from memory. I'm sure if I look at their stats, there might be some different opinions there. But I mean, Manny Ramirez, from what I remember, phenomenal player. Andrew Jones, Mark Burley, Tim Hudson, fucking Barry Zito. Who else was on here? Bobby Abreu. I mean, again, that's just from my memory of them as a child. Who knows if they actually are Hall of Fame worthy? But really sucks that they're not letting these guys in. But I mean, Kurt Schilling can fuck off. I don't give a fuck about that guy. More sports. The Seahawks lineman. Now, I don't remember his name, and I don't want to put his name out there. But he beat his wife, girlfriend, partner, I guess let's just put it that way, almost to death. And from what I understand, like, you know, I just read an article. I heard somebody talk about it on a podcast. I read an article, and I'm being that asshole that claims that he knows everything. I don't know all the details. But he beat this woman really badly to the point that he assumed she was dead. He then went to his kitchen and made like beef stew and was just eating dinner. And then she was alive and then called the police. The police showed up and he was like, what the fuck? And then like she was like, wait, she's alive? Like was surprised that she's alive. Today went to court and pled not guilty to domestic violence. I mean, if you just look up Seahawks lineman, I'm sure you can find it, no problem. But I mean, what the fucking Christ? Jesus. You beat your wife to death, you think, and then you just go make beef stew? What a fucking... And then plead not guilty? God, I hope that guy rots in prison. What else I got? The Tiger Woods documentary. Oh my God, it was really well made. I don't want to say it was great because, you know, he's a cocksucker. But they really made Tiger look bad, and they really made his father look bad. Now, they very well might be terrible people, but Tiger's dad is no longer alive. So they're making a documentary about how he was shitty, which is why Tiger became the way he was, and, you know, womanizer and cheating on his wife with all these people and, you know, doing drugs and driving and DUIs and all this shit. But he's really fucking good at golf. The craziest story in that whole documentary, he had this girlfriend in high school. He went away to college. He was supposed to come back from college, told his parents he was coming back on, I'm making this up. He's going to come back on Saturday. He came back a day early to see his girlfriend first. His parents found out about it, and they told him, this woman's going to fuck up your golf career, so either you break up with her or you're out of my fucking house. So he hand wrote her a letter. And they interviewed the actual woman, and she still had the letter, which is kind of creepy, like 40 years later or 30 years later. I think he's in his mid-40s, so probably 30 some odd years later. Maybe 20 years later, whatever the math, 25, 30 years later. And it said something along the lines of like, me and my family have decided that you're no longer good for me. I never want to hear from you again. Imagine that. Me and my family decided to break up with you. But I mean, this woman was saying in the documentary that like the person, I mean, because, you know, as he was getting into college, he was winning all these amateur tournaments, and, you know, he was getting on ESPN as an amateur golfer. So she's like, I was afraid of him becoming what he is today. And I would tell him, like, you know, golf isn't everything. If you don't want to golf, you don't have to play golf. We could settle down and start a family eventually. So, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think his dad was right. That woman would have fucked up his golf career. But, I mean, maybe he would have been happier. Who knows? Probably not. I mean, he's made like $1 billion. But it's really well made. Go check it out if you haven't already. All right, let's get into some MMA here. So, Conor McGregor had his fight. And I didn't think about this until I saw it on Instagram. But Conor McGregor made a $500,000 donation to Dustin Poirier's Good Fight Foundation. And then Dustin Poirier knocked him out. Which is pretty ironic and also really fucking funny. But it is what it is. So let's look at the whole card. So I did buy the pay-per-view because Dana White scared me. And I'm probably going to buy them all from here on out. So the undercard, Khalil Roundtree got fucked on a decision. I thought he won that fight pretty clearly, but he didn't. And then Juliana Pena beat Sarah McMahon and then called out Amanda Nunes like Amanda Nunes was afraid. I love Juliana Pena. Before she got fucking hurt, because she got hurt and was out for a long time. I thought she was going to be the one to beat Ronda Rousey. But yeah, I mean, she lost to Shevchenko and she lost to Jermaine Durandamy. Both fighters that Amanda Nunes isn't fucking afraid. She fucking went and fought Cyborg. No offense, she's not afraid of Juliana Pena. I love Juliana Pena, but I'm so fucking sick of fighters saying that other fighters are afraid of them. They fight for a living. They're not afraid of you. Stop saying that. I fucking hate fighters saying that. Oh, they're afraid to fight me. Duh. No. They're not afraid to fight you. Show up at their gym on sparring day. They won't avoid you. No, they're not afraid to fight. Stop. I fucking hate saying that. And then Amanda Ribas got knocked out almost twice. Herb Dean's been fucking up lately. I mean, Amanda Ribas got rocked, and the girl jumped on top of her, and Herb Dean got a little too close, and like his shirt or his hand or whatever touched her touched Marina Rodriguez, and she stopped. And Herb was like, "I didn't stop the fight," and she's like, "What? Yes, you did." And then she just knocked Ribas out worse. So Herb Dean's really fucking up, and he makes a lot of money. But then Joanne Calderwood. Ah, God, I feel so bad for her. I love her. I love her accent. I love her style of fighting. She was scheduled to fight Shevchenko. And she didn't want to wait, so she took another fight and lost. And she's like, yeah, that was a stupid decision. But she won again. She beat Jessica Ai. So, does Shevchenko have a fight right now? I feel like she does. I don't know. Valentina Shevchenko. Huh. I want to say that she does, but I can't think of the opponent. Maybe she doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't look like she does. So, yeah, because she just fought Jennifer Maia. So maybe she'll... I mean, Lauren Murphy's really pushing for it. I mean, she's won a bunch in a row. She's probably... What? How many has Lauren Murphy won? Not... I mean, I like Lauren Murphy. She's pretty annoying. But I kind of feel bad for the way she was treated on The Ultimate Fighter. I like her. She's won 4 in a row. She beat... she's got two finishes, 2 decisions. Beat Roxanne Modafferi, the former number 1 contender, perennial number 1 contender. She could be next, but also Joanne Calderwood could be next as well. She was supposed to be next, and then she took a fight. She lost, and then just beat Jessica Ai, who was another girl who was top of the division, who was chomping at a title shot. And then, but she did just lose to Caitlin Chukagian. So, like, women's 125 is all over the place. Chukagian just looked phenomenal against Cynthia Calvillo. Jessica Andrade. Now that I'm looking at, what's her name? Kovacevic, or Chukagian, I mean. That's a good one. That I want to see. Andrade versus Shevchenko. That is one that I am definitely in on. Will it happen? Probably not. So then we go to Michael Chandler versus Dan Hooker. For some reason, I don't remember who I picked on the podcast, but before the fight happened, I thought Michael Chandler was going to win. I did not think he was going to win like that. Now, I don't know if that's just a result of the 2 fights that Dan Hooker had last year with Poirier and Felder. 2 all-out fucking wars. So I don't know what was up with that. Maybe just got caught off guard. But when Michael Chandler was throwing that cross to the body, I kept saying, like, 3's got to come up top. 3's got to come up top. And then when he finally threw it, he was setting him up, and then he threw it. Oof. And then afterwards, Dan Hooker fucking threw his, like, as he's walking out, threw his gloves in the ring. And he commented on it. He said, when I was going through my brain, like, fuck this sport, fuck this dumbass sport, this is stupid. But I hope, he's like, well, I'm not good at anything else either, so I guess I got to stick around. But look, I like Dan Hooker. I like him a lot. And I was big on Michael Chandler getting a title shot. But when Dustin Poirier came out and said, I will not fight Michael Chandler for the title, I understand why. And now I'm on board with that. So the top of the lightweight division, they are talking about doing a trilogy between Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. And if Conor McGregor gets a title shot, that's horseshit. Justin Gaethje said he will retire. He will leave the UFC if Conor McGregor gets a title shot after that. And I don't blame him. But Dustin Poirier is also talking about fighting Nate Diaz. I'm all for Nate Diaz fighting anybody. I'm all for Nick Diaz fighting anybody. There was talks of him coming back. Those talks have kind of subsided, but if Dustin Poirier wants to fight Conor McGregor again or Nate Diaz, I'm all for it. Those guys cannot fight for a title. And I hate the whole paid his dues. I don't give a fuck about dues being paid. Paying your dues should get you a bigger paycheck, but not get you better fights inside the octagon. So I'm not for that at all. But if we look at the top of the division, I'm going to try and match up the whole division right now. So we got Dustin Poirier, number 1. And Khabib said he's not fighting again. So he's not fighting. So Dustin Poirier is the fucking champ, as he should be. The only fight that he's lost in the last 5 years is to Khabib. Khabib's gone. Dustin Poirier is the fucking champ. Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira have to fight for the title. There was reports that came out today that they tried to get a somewhat short notice fight between Chandler and Oliveira said, "Fuck that. I'm fighting for a title." And I appreciate that. I don't think he's gonna get a title fight, to be completely honest. I think he should. Absolutely, I think he should. I don't think he's going to. But here's what I would do: Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, number 1 and number 3. Number 2, Justin Gaethje versus number 4, Michael Chandler. And then we got 5 and 6, Tony and Conor. Tony's talked a bunch of shit about Conor for years. Conor's kind of wiped him off. They're both coming off losses. That's a good way to go. And then we go further down. We got number 7, Rafael Dos Anjos. And then we got number 8, Dan Hooker. I mean, right down the fucking line. And then we got number 9, Paul Felder, who has been scheduled to fight Ally Aquinta, I think twice, maybe just once, but that's a fight I'm fully fucking in for. Or Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone wants to keep fighting. I'm all for a Cowboy versus Felder fight. I'm fucking in. Or Dan Hooker versus Nate Diaz, because Nate Diaz is talking about coming back. Nate Diaz and Dan Hooker have been like complimenting each other. Dan's like, I'm a big fan of that guy. Nate Diaz is like, I like the way that guy fights as well. Even if Hooker wants to go up to 170 to fight Nate Diaz, I am fully in for where's that other fucking... I'm going longer than I thought I was going to go here. Let's charge this other battery in case this one dies again. Sorry, guys. Again, bear with me. And then Kevin Lee's got to fight Islam Makhachev. That fight was scheduled, and I want to see it happen. And then we got Beneil Dariush, who's fighting this weekend, I think. So we'll see what happens with him before we start matching him up. But that's what I got for the lightweight division. I don't think Poirier is stupid enough to give up an actual title fight, and I don't think the UFC is stupid enough to put Nate Diaz or Conor in a title fight right now. Who knows? They're probably dumb enough to put Conor in, but not Nate. As much as I love Nate Diaz, I would be... it's still watch, but I'd be really fucking pissed if he gets a goddamn title fight. When was the last time Nate Diaz even fought at 155. Because he had, was it? No, because Pettis was 170. So he fought. Before I look at his Wikipedia, I'm almost positive Pettis was 170. And then Masvidal was 170. Both Conor fights were 170. Huh. I have no fucking idea. It's been a while. So Masvidal was 170. Pettis was 170. McGregor was 170. Michael Johnson. Right. Was when he... Okay, because Benson Henderson was... Wow, that was 8 years ago when he fought Benson Henderson for the title. Wow. That was a long time ago. Because when he fought Dos Anjos, was that for the title? I don't think so, was it? I don't remember. Because I know Diaz missed weight, so it just said it... It just says catch weight. I want to say that was for the title, but I don't fucking remember. No, I don't think it was. No, because he won the title after that fight against Pettis. Okay. I'm getting all confused on myself over here. So, that's all I got for MMA, I think, right? Oh, no. Casey Kenny. What a douche. So, Casey Kenny, I've talked a lot about how much I like Casey Kenny. I like watching him fight. I was happy that he got the opportunity to fight Dominic Cruz. And I was like, oh, he's a big up-and-comer. You know, he's basic. He's exciting to watch. He's the bantamweight Jeff Neal. So he was on Sugar Sean O'Malley's podcast. I guess he has a podcast. So Sugar Sean, first off, is a douche. He still considers himself undefeated, even though he just lost to Chito Vera. So on this podcast, he's holding a baby. I don't even know he had a kid. I don't even know if it was his. But he's holding a baby, and he's, like, making comments about, you know, people that get addicted to drugs are fucking pussies. Like, I would do heroin once. I wouldn't get addicted to that shit. Like, fucking clown. And then, I don't know how the podcast works. Like, it was, like, a cut-up clip, and Casey Kenny was on, and they asked him, like, they were going through Twitter questions. Somebody asked him on Twitter, would you smash Megan Anderson? Who, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Megan Anderson is hot as fuck. And he was like, nah, not really. I mean, she's like a 5 a.m.er. Like, at the end of the night, you know, I'm fucked up. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, sure, fuck it, why not? But, like, generally, nah. What the fuck? And they're about to fight on the same card. I mean, Megan Anderson is like 6 feet tall. Casey Kenny's like 5'7". So, fucking take your Napoleon complex little ass elsewhere. And I hope Dominic Cruz beats the shit out of you, you fucking loser. God damn it. That really pissed me off. Oh, I meant to look at who's fighting this weekend. So we got Conor. I don't even know who's headlining this weekend. It's been a couple weeks. No, not even a couple. It was literally like 9 days ago that they fought, right? They fought January 29th or whatever. Apparently did like 1.6 million buys, which is like the second biggest pay-per-view in UFC history. So we got UFC 257 that just happened, and then Overeem versus Volkov. Good fight. I'd like to see Alistair Overeem win. I don't dislike Volkov, but for some reason, I always talk shit about people that use steroids, but for some reason, there's something about Overeem that I just enjoy. He did the whole Stipe tap thing, but I mean. So you look at his last 5 fights. So, Sergey Pavlovich, couldn't tell you who that guy is if you show me a picture of him, won by TKO. Alexei Oleinik, won by TKO. Jairzinho Rozenstruik was beating the shit out of him the entire fight. And he got knocked out with 4 seconds left. So, bad ending, great performance. Knocks out Walt Harris, knocks out Augusto Sakai. So he lost to Rozenstruik in the middle there, but he really dominated that fight. So that's, if you want to call it 5 in a row. And he's going to have his 20th fight in the UFC this weekend, and that is the most fights he's had in any organization. And he's had over 100 pro fights, I think, between MMA and kickboxing. So he's got, not over 100, so he's got 66 MMA fights and 14 kickboxing fights, so 80 fights total. Excited. I like him. And I'd like to see him make another run at the title. Stipe's fighting Ngannou again. He dominated Ngannou the first time, and now he's the betting underdog, which is weird to me. Then we go right down the card. We got co-main event, Corey Sandhagen versus Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar just won his first fight at bantamweight against Pedro Munoz. Big step up in competition. Corey Sandhagen is a monster. But that fight was originally scheduled a while ago, and I don't remember what happened, but it didn't end up happening. But I'm excited about that. That's going to be a fun fight. I love Frankie Edgar. I love Corey Sandhagen. It's going to be fun to watch. And then the rest of the card is pretty lackluster, to be completely honest. We got Pantoja's fighting. We got Beneil Dariush against Carlos Diego Ferreira. And then the headliner of the prelim card is Michael Johnson versus Clay Guida. So that's I'm gonna say something totally fucking crazy here. And I don't know if I've said it before, but I've thought it for a while. So when you talk about the greatest of all time, you look at, resume, longevity, consistency. But if we look at, like, one version of a specific fighter, like, Chael Sonnen has said before that the greatest middleweight of all time is Luke Rockhold when he won the title. Like, his lead up to winning the title and then winning the title, that version of Luke Rockhold could beat any version of anybody. Now, Michael Johnson is one of the most inconsistent fighters in UFC history. But if you look at the guys that he's beat, when he shows up, he shows the fuck up. That version of Michael Johnson, when Michael Johnson shows up, is one of the greatest lightweights of all time. I know that's fucking crazy. Look at who he's beat. He beat Dustin Poirier. Other than Khabib, I think that was Poirier's last loss. Yeah. He beat Dustin Poirier. He beat Edson Barbosa. He beat Gleison Tibau when Gleison Tibau was prime Gleison Tibau. He beat Tony Ferguson. When he shows up, he shows the fuck up. I mean, he's lost 6 of his last 8, so he's on a downslope. But when he shows up, that dude is primo. That's a fucking insane statement, but I stick by it. And then we got the title fight after that, Usman versus Burns, and I will talk about that next week. So that's all I got for sports. So I want to discuss a little bit about my last solo episode that I did. It was kind of a downer. Talked about, how I was feeling, how I feel alone, how I don't feel loved, and so that episode, let's look. Got, not a ton of listens. My listeners are just disappeared. My first 10 episodes all had 200 listens each. Now I can barely get 20. So episode 78, my last solo episode, got 31 listens on SoundCloud. And how many watches on YouTube? So subscribe to the page, first of all. I hit 50 subscribers, by the way, so thank you to everybody that subscribed. And I got 28 watches on YouTube. So assuming that they're not all the same, 31, 28, that's 60 listens. I think I had 2 people reach out to see if I'm okay and to apologize for contributing to me feeling the way I was feeling. 2 out of 60. That's pretty disheartening. Not that I made that episode for attention or anything, but if I hear or see a friend, not even a friend. Like, I will reach out to somebody that I don't know at all. If I see them on Facebook or Instagram post something like negative, they're feeling down, whatever, maybe that's just me. And I think that's something I need to learn, is to stop expecting me from people, because not everybody acts the way I do or has the same thought process that I do. So that was pretty disheartening. But another thing, when I listened back to the episode and when I was editing it, I was like, wow, I left out a lot of shit in the moment, like what was going on. Like, I didn't even delve into my family problems. Like, over the last 5 years or so, my family has like completely fallen apart. And I've done almost everything I can think of to try to rebuild it. It's just done. I guess too much damage is done. It's beyond repair at this point, and that really sucks as well. But I did start therapy. I had my first session last Thursday, and I have my second session this Thursday. I fucking love the guy. So the first time I went to therapy a couple years ago, I had a woman. This time I wanted to try something different, reached out to a guy, and they are few and far between. So I was on the Psychology Today website, and shout out to Shayna Dente, a friend of mine who I went to high school with. She is now I don't want to get this wrong, but she works in the mental health field. She's either a psychologist or a therapist. I'm not entirely sure. So I apologize, Shane, if you're listening, for fucking that up. But she had reached out to me, seeing if I was okay, whatever. One of the few, so thank you. And, I told her I was, looking into therapy, but, I can't really pay a whole lot. My insurance doesn't cover it, blah, blah, blah. So she suggested the website Psychology Today. You can find people that, do sliding scale payments based on your income. And so I went to that website, was looking for guys. There's not that many. Found one, was reading his profile, and feel like he was a good fit. And based on the first session, went well. Super cool fucking guy. Curses a lot, which is my kind of guy. But also isn't one of those therapists that will just listen to you. Like, he will say, like, hey, stupid, like, you're a fucking idiot. Not exactly that, but he will tell you what you did was wrong and how and what you can do to fix it and try to change. So I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to heal. I'm working towards it. So for all of those people out there, please don't give up on me yet. I am trying here as best as I can, between work, family, the gym, girlfriend, therapy. I got a lot on my plate. I'm fucking trying here. And another thing that I wanted to just touch on real quick, when I was a kid, not even just a kid, but like up into, middle school and high school and even in college, not so much in college, but more so in high school, I got made fun of a lot for being really into Disney and really into like cartoons, and they're like, oh, you're a fucking loser, whatever. But now it's funny, because now that we're older and we're adults, people that used to make fun of me in high school will DM me asking for information on Disney World and the different hotels and what's cheaper and what's the best way to have a fucking great Disney trip. So it's pretty fucking ironic. But anyway, one of the reasons that I think I cling so hard to like Disney World and Harry Potter and just Disney movies, the Pixar movies, cartoons, like, because it kind of just reminds me of the last time that I was really, truly, genuinely, entirely happy, which was when I was a fucking kid. So I think that plays into it, and I'm not sorry for it. I love Disney. I love Harry Potter. I love cartoons. I like fucking Nickelodeon. I like Cartoon Network. And fuck off. So that's that. So thank you to the few of you who did reach out. I'm doing okay. I'm getting the help that I've needed for a while. Thank you to my therapist. I'm looking forward to talking to you on Thursday. And thank you to everyone who listens. Oh, and another thing about the last episode, I talked about how much it bothers me that nobody shares my stuff. And that, again, still happens. So thank you to those of you that do share my stuff. Juice. And now Alyssa, thank you. And my cousin Kim shares it sometimes. But to the rest of you, please just give this a share, please. Enjoy your day, unless you're Punxsutawney Phil. Dick's out for Harambe, and Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself.